Hey, welcome back to another episode of me just talking next to Lake Merritt. So, some interesting stuff happened today. Many of you might not know, but I've been going to church. Not really a believer or anything like that, but I definitely enjoy the community. So, a long time ago, I had stopped going to church because I felt that, you know, if I'm going to be kind of going to something I don't really actually believe, it doesn't make sense. But, you know, one of the things that I learned was the community aspect of church was such an influence in my life that I started to almost become antisocial, which is not my personality type. I'm actually an extrovert, so which is crazy. But sun's shining today, and it's a nice time to do another video. So on the way home from church today, something interesting happened. I was sitting in my car, at a stoplight, and I hear some sirens, and then I hear another car kind of gun the engine and smash into two cars behind me. From there, these two kids, they jumped out of the car and they ran in the intersection, and the police pursued them right afterwards and caught these kids. But I was actually a little scared because I thought they were gonna. My car was the only car available to actually, after they crashed their car, to kind of make a getaway. So I thought, I thought for sure they were gonna, or potentially, not for sure, but potentially they could have tried to hijack my car, or I guess LoJack. I don't know, what is it? It's carjack. There we go. Carjack my car and try to get away, but they didn't. So I'm definitely grateful I remained safe. What was striking about it was these kids were so young. They were 13. They looked young, like 13 years old. These were not, you're like I don't know, like someone you might see on like the news almost, really. Like, these were just young kids that had, whatever they had done led them to crash that car. And it gave me a lot to think about, a lot to be thankful for, a lot to, I just kind of imagined, like, what upbringing did they have that led to that at such a young age, and it's not to say anything in terms of like looking down or anything like that. That's actually not where I'm coming from. It's coming from, I actually felt like compassion. Like, these kids, they probably like didn't have a whole lot of choice. I mean, they have some choice. We all have agency, but at that young age, I mean, even when I thought I had a choice, I didn't really have as much choice as I thought growing up. And so I think that it's a valuable thing to consider. What environment do we grow up in, and more than that, what environment do we stay in after we grow up? That's a very important thing to think about. For a large part, the reason why, as humans and every organism on this planet has been able to evolve to this current state, is because we were able to evolve from the container that we're in. So the container we're in. The container we're in is this world, right? So it's this world, but it's also the microenvironments that we create for ourselves. So how we evolve as a human over time really depends on where we put ourselves. And I think that once we get to a certain age where we can pull ourselves out to a different environment, that's so important that you shouldn't overlook that. Don't just say, I can do this anywhere, because maybe you can, but why do it anywhere? Why not put yourself in the best position? And also, you have no clue what you're missing. And I didn't realize that until I came here to Oakland, to the Bay Area. Really, the great friendships and the amazing people that I've been able to meet, as well as, I spent some time living in Cambridge, and I met some amazing people as well there. Going to some of the more, I guess, fancy schools. And those were some really neat experiences that I'll take with me for the rest of my life, meeting some great people. And I'd say, think about the environment you live in, but that's something that I've been really, really taking a look at in myself. So anyway, that's about 5 minutes, and I'll let it be. And thanks for listening, and until next time, see you later.